So I just wanted to add this little clip before the intro of the video to the last, to this movie review here. Oh, that I actually messed up the name of the people that captured C-3PO and R2-D2 in the first movie. I called them Jabberwockies. I also say Jabberwockies in this video, and I don't know why I have Jabberwocky stuck in my head as a creature in Star Wars, because it's not as far as I've researched now. But the creatures who actually captured C-3PO and R2-D2 were called Jawas, and I don't know why I couldn't remember it. The little teddy bear looking creatures are called Ewoks. I don't know why I thought they were called Jabberwockies too. Anyway, I'm sorry about that, and thank you. Bye-bye. Hello again, everybody. Yes, I'm filming these two videos on the same day. They definitely won't be uploaded on the same day, but today we are going to be reviewing the Return of the Jedi. I don't know how well you can see that because it's backwards, you guys, but that's the movie we're going to be reviewing today. So this takes place right after God, why can't I? Sorry, I'm trying to remember everything. Oh yes, so Han has been frozen in carbonite. He has been captured by Jabba the Hutt, and Luke is trying to save him, and he sends R2-D2 and C-3PO to deliver a message to Jabba that if he doesn't give him up, there will be consequences. Jabba obviously doesn't believe him. Then Leia ends up rescuing Han, unfreezing him from the carbonite. They get into a huge mess. Luke has to battle a giant creature that Jabba has been holding captive to kill humans and other various creatures in the galaxy. That scene was pretty intense because Luke has no weapons. He's just down there basically hiding until he sees an opening to get out and crush the creature underneath the door, which was actually really well done. Oh, actually, no, this is where he saves Han and Leia. Yeah, I guess a second time, really, when you think about it, because he already saved them in the previous movie, which I did talk about there too as well. So, yes. Yeah, he saves them twice. Now that I really dig deep into it. Wow. It's crazy. Wow. I mean, they save each other so much, it's unbelievable how many times they have to go back and forth between saving each other. So, yes, all that happens with Jabba the Hutt. They end up getting caught in the end altogether, and then Luke has already tipped off Lando to help them, so he's already part of Jabba's crew, just Jabba doesn't know it yet. And then when they're being taken to the creature to be devoured, that's what their sentence is, they're able to escape and blow up Jabba's ship and get away. And Luke then decides to go back to complete his training with Yoda, and Yoda said, there is no more training, there's only one final step, which I kind of wish they had have actually done a little bit more training with Luke instead of just that scene, but that's just my opinion of that part of the movie. Yoda tells Luke that his final test is to go face Darth Vader one more time because now he knows that he's his father. Yoda actually tells him that just to confirm it because Luke wants to know. And in this movie, Luke's wearing all black, which is really a symbol of kind of the battle he's having with himself as to the power of the dark side pulling him in more and more because his father is Darth Vader. And Palpatine is in this movie. I think you do see him in the previous one, but not, I can't remember whether you see him in person or not in the previous one. One thing I didn't know about Palpatine in these movies was that it was actually the same one that's in the prequels. But I did not know that. I thought it was somebody different. But it's actually much more endearing to the character, I guess you could say, to have him play in the two older ones and then in the prequels as well. That makes it really cool. I think he's been in actually all of the Star Wars movies as Palpatine so far. That, yes, he has. Yeah, that they've had out. So that's, but we'll talk about all that when we get to it. I just thought that was interesting. I didn't know that fact. So, where was I before I said that? Hold on. Oh, yes. Luke decides to go and face Darth Vader. That's where I was at. Right, and they have to pass. He's debating whether to go back or not. He decides to go with Han and Leia and Chewie and R2-D2 and C-3PO to pass the newfound Star Destroyer, is what it's called. It's basically just another Death Star, just a more glorified version of it. And Palpatine is on the Death Star. He can, but he can't sense Luke's presence when they're passing. They have an old code to get past the new Death Star. And they end up landing on this moon and meeting the... what were they called? The little teddy bear guys, I'm trying to remember. Ewoks. They end up meeting the Ewoks. Luke and Leia get into a huge... they're kind of like, they're like motorcycles almost, but they fly, because it's futuristic, obviously, because it's Star Wars. They end up having to deal with those troopers. I guess bike troopers is what they'd be called. I'm not really 100% sure. I know there's an actual name for them, but we're just going to call them bike troopers, because I can't remember the actual name right now. I guess they're just stormtroopers, but they're on bikes. Anyhow, they end up having a huge scene where they're going through the woods trying to chase them so that they can't take the info that they're down on this moon back to Darth Vader, even though he can sense their presence. He ends up coming down there, and the whole point of them going to this moon is so that they can destroy the shield, so that Lando can get in there and with his fleet and take out the Empire once and for all. And Luke decides to get captured by Darth Vader to face Palpatine. And Palpatine shows him from the Death Star the whole fleet basically being destroyed, until finally down on the moon they are able to get the shield down, which is great for the Jedis, and he ends up fighting Darth Vader again, even though he doesn't want to, because he's trying to not give in to his hate and become part of the dark side. Anyway, Palpatine finally says, enough is enough. He says, you're going to be a Jedi, then I'm going to kill you. Starts electrocuting Luke to death, and then Darth Vader decides that he's going to not let his son die, and throws Palpatine over the rails down into the depths of the Death Star and kills him. Or so we think. We're not really sure. He could have gone anywhere. Palpatine is a very powerful Sith Lord, so from what we've seen. So he could be dead, he might not be dead, we don't know. But in the process of doing that, because Darth Vader is basically more computer than human by this point, he ends up dying himself in the end. And unfortunately, Luke doesn't even get to spend that much time with him, which was kind of a sad scene. But One thing I will say about the Blu-ray edition of this movie that I didn't like was the fact that they added Darth Vader saying no. But that didn't really add anything to the movie. And at the end, when they're all celebrating with the Ewoks, they end up putting Hayden Christensen's Force Ghost into the end of the movie, which I don't really think they needed to do. Why not keep it original? That was one thing that I didn't like. They didn't need to do that. The movie was fine the way it was. I don't know why they changed anything. So I'm actually going to try to find these movies if I don't already have them on DVD somewhere. I might actually have them on DVD somewhere, so I'll check and see if it's the same as this, because I like the... It just seems demeaning to the original actor to take him right out of the movie, right? I mean, I know they've done the prequels now, but still, well, I don't know why they changed the ending. That was the only flaw, as far as I'm concerned, in this movie. The movie's still a great movie. I've never been disappointed by a Star Wars movie, just disappointed by the fact that they had to change that, thinking that it added anything to the movie. It really didn't, because the suspense of Darth Vader being silent really built on that whole scene, because you weren't sure whether he was going to let Palpatine kill Luke, or just or defend Luke in the end, because of the second lightsaber battle that they end up having. And Luke's lightsaber changes from blue to green because he has to build his own in order to fight Darth Vader a second time, because he loses his in the previous movie, which I talk about in that review. So I will see you guys in the next Star Wars review. I'm actually about to watch it right now, after I make some food and stuff, so bye-bye for now.